Hey y'all, it's Jen. I am going to work on a horse project. I'm gonna take this greeting card or note card. This is layered on the front. It's really, really pretty. And I'm gonna turn it into a little ephemera folio. And I was digging through a box and found a whole stack of horse stuff. So that's how this happened. I found this other greeting card. This one was used. I purchased it somewhere. And I want to make a flip up on the inside of here. So I'm going to cut this card down to fit. Let me just measure. So I think I need to cut this down to 4 inches. And I want to keep the signature of the artist that's on the corner down here. So I'm going to cut it from this side. And I'll keep this for another project. Or possibly this one, we'll see. Because I have an idea going on in my head here. I also want to cut off this extra piece of card down here. Just to keep some of the bulk down, but I want to save a piece of the hinge here. Because that gives me something to glue this down with. And I kind of feel like I need to put some washi or something here. I have some of this paper that I made with tea bags and glue. It's like faux vellum. I don't know that I've ever made this on camera before. Maybe. Should have cut that with a cutter so that it was straight. So you just take dried tea bags. You could use coffee filters too, but I like the way the tea bags look better. And you use a PVA glue or collage glue, and you just layer it up on a non-stick mat. Let it dry, and then you can peel it off. And one side's going to be very textured, and one side's going to be a little bit smoother. It's really, really cool to work with. I used some of it on the pirate journal that I recently uploaded a flip through for. I used it to make some word labels. Some more glue under here. Oops. paper towel. I'm just gonna trim this off. Recrease while it's still wet. Yep. And then I'm gonna run some glue along the back side. Yes. I had to think for a second because I want to add an envelope flip to this project as well. I'm just trying to line this up. Straight-ish. Get this glued down. Then I have a piece of a bookend. It's the same color as this piece of paper. So this is gonna go here, but the end is not straight. So I'm gonna straighten the end up. And then it's also, oops, I need a new cutter blade. It's also too wide, so I'm gonna need to cut this side off. This is gonna go here. Just gonna mark this where I need to cut it shorter. And I'm gonna cover this with something, or I may stencil it. On the back, I found this paper. I know I want to put this back here. And I was trying to decide whether to add another envelope, but I think I'm just gonna cover the back with this. So I know already that it is 4 inches wide. And I'm gonna save this little piece for now, just in case I need it somewhere else in the project. Yeah, this is gonna go back here, like that there. Put that down for now. So I had some coffee dyed envelopes, but I also have a whole lot more of these cream colored or manila colored envelopes. Play around with this for a minute. These are smaller. These are more of a mottled. These are gonna be easier to get in and out of. So if I took this envelope and I slid the flap under here, then I could flip this out and have something tucked in here. Not digging this color though. Use this one. No, I still like the coffee dyed envelope better. I do. So I'm gonna glue this flap down. So now I'll have this to open up. I'll have this to flip up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this to fit. Okay. Now I have to decide what I'm gonna do up here. So do I want to pocket. No, not like that. Piece of coffee dyed paper. Just want to cut. Four-inch piece of this. I'm gonna glue this to here. Really gluing that seam down really well because where it folds. And then I'll need to trim just a little bit around the edge of this. Now I can glue this paper down. these out of the way. I'm not gonna use them. That's what I was worried about. I accidentally creased this paper. So I'm gonna warm it up and rub it against the edge of my desk to get that crease out. Everybody used to write letters to each other in class, and they fold them up and give them to each other. This is how we used to get the creases out of them. So this is gonna go on the back of here. This is pretty thin paper. That'll be all right. It is smooth again. Okay, now let me trim this edge. I got it. Okay. So now I want to add a pocket here too, and a pocket down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this. And then I cut a piece off. And take this piece of the greeting card that I saved because it fits. This is 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to glue this to here. Now, I usually don't use a lot of glue, but for this, I use a lot of glue. Like I have a layer here peeling up. Just add some more glue to it. Decide which way. I like it this way. Okay, so now I'm gonna run a bead of glue along each side and across the bottom. To make my pockets. Right there. So I'm gonna cut another piece. Oh, just barely enough. And I'm gonna do this again, but I'm gonna glue it up here and make a pocket that loads this way. And I think because this is so inked, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of inking around that edge. Pretty sure this is vintage photo because I was using a lot of vintage photo. When I was working on, it is. When I was working on older projects. Don't want to get too heavy-handed. With it. I do just want to add some color. Okay. this glued down. You okay, buddy? My little puppy's getting old. So he struggles sometimes. Wherever mama's at, he's at. Okay. Knock off a little bit of that white. Like this. Again, just adding glue on 3 sides so that I have an opening for a pocket. Yep. Now, I have all these pockets. Burnish that little. I have some coffee dyed paper cutoffs here. One of these has something, I don't know what that is, something I printed maybe, right along the edge of it. So I'm gonna cut that off. I'm gonna take these and fold these in half. Ish. And I'm gonna put them in here. This writing space. But I need to trim the edge. And then because everything else got inked, I'll add a little bit of ink to edge the papers on the edges. Yep, yep. Okay, got my papers all inked up. Now I'm going to staple these papers in rather than stitch them in, since it's just a little folio. I'm going to line them up where I want them. Paper clip them into place. That's the plan anyway. Because I need to turn it over and my stapler isn't long enough. So there's a trick for that. Get a box. And you put your journal in the box. Or whatever you're stapling. Open your stapler up. Puppy glitter. Put your staples in. Put your book out of the box. Okay, now your staples are going to be open and sharp. Paper clips off. Just trying to line them up pretty now. Off a little bit on this side, it's fine. Okay. Now not so sharp. You want to move your pages around. Set them by rubbing on them a little bit so that they fold nicely. Okay. So now I have a little writing space, journaling spot in here. And now I'm going to, I have a flashcard that I'm going to put in here. Horse themed flashcard. I have this playing card. That's what the back looks like. These are really cool. I had another playing card that I wanted to use that I liked. I like this set of horses too. Let's see, I might need to, I do. I'm not gonna guesstimate that. I'm going to get my cutter. Yes. Like that there. Do two. This playing card. Let's do this. And I have a few more playing cards. I just don't have them out here. This here or it's too bright for this project. I have a different one that I'm gonna go get. This one I'm just gonna paper clip in here. This one, but it's so bright pink. I think what I'll probably do is include see, I like this one here. have another one that I'm gonna put here. Let me go see if I can find it. Yes. So I have these. I like this one. I have some double-sided tape. Just bought to try out, so okay. Take this paper clip off. Now this will stick here. Okay. So that helped with the bulk, and then I'll swap these little paper clips out. All right. Problem solved. Thanks for watching, y'all. Try to have a good evening.